The Force binds all things across the galaxy, connecting every living being in an invisible web of energy that flows through stars, planets, and the void between them. For thousands of generations, the Jedi have studied this mystical power, believing it to be the fundamental fabric of existence itself. But what happens when something arrives from beyond their understanding? A power that doesn't flow from the Force, yet rivals it in raw, terrifying magnitude. The Battle of Christophsis raged across the crystalline planet's surface, clone troopers in white armor exchanging fire with endless waves of separatist battle droids. The Republic's forces were stretched thin, pinned down behind shattered crystal formations, while droid gunships circled overhead like metallic vultures. General Anakin Skywalker and his former master, Obi-Wan Kenobi, coordinated the defense from a makeshift command post, their faces grim as casualty reports scrolled across holographic displays. Beside them, Anakin's young Padawan, Ahsoka Tano, monitored the tactical readouts with growing concern. "We're losing ground on the eastern flank," Ahsoka reported, her montrals twitching with anxiety. "If those AATs break through, we'll be surrounded." Anakin's jaw tightened. "Rex, pull your men back to the secondary position. The sky exploded. Not with fire or ordnance, but with light, brilliant golden light that tore through the atmosphere like a meteor wrapped in lightning. Every soldier on the battlefield, clone and droid alike, stopped firing and looked up as the burning streak descended at impossible speed. The energy signature was so intense that Anakin and Obi-Wan both staggered, hands flying to their temples as something that felt like the Force, but fundamentally wasn't, crashed into their senses like a tidal wave. "What is that?" Ahsoka gasped, her leku flattening against her head. Obi-Wan's eyes widened behind his beard. I don't know. I've never felt anything like it." The object, no. The person slammed into the ground between the two armies with enough force to crater the crystal surface and send shockwaves rippling outward. When the dust cleared, a figure stood at the impact site, seemingly unharmed. He was humanoid, wearing strange orange and blue clothing that looked nothing like any uniform in the known galaxy. His black hair stood up in wild spikes, and his dark eyes blinked in confusion as he surveyed the battlefield around him. "Ow," Goku muttered, rubbing the back of his head. "That was a rough landing. King Kai? Master Roshi? Where?" He trailed off, noticing the clone troopers and battle droids all staring at him with weapons raised. Hi?" A clone commander's voice crackled through his helmet speaker. "Unidentified combatant, identify yourself or we will open fire." Goku tilted his head, not understanding the words but definitely understanding the hostile intent. "Wait, I'm not trying to—" Bastard bolts erupted from both sides simultaneously. The clones and droids, united for once in their confusion, opened fire on the unknown threat. Goku's eyes widened as red and blue energy beams converged on his position from dozens of angles. Then he moved. To the soldiers watching, it seemed impossible. The stranger became a blur, his body twisting and weaving through the deadly crossfire as if he could see each bolt before it fired. His hands moved in sharp, precise motions, deflecting blaster shots with his bare palms, the energy dissipating harmlessly against his skin. A thermal detonator arced toward him from a droid. He caught it casually and tossed it straight up, where it detonated harmlessly overhead. "Stop shooting!" Goku shouted, raising his hands peacefully. "I don't want to fight you guys." "Hold your fire!" Anakin's voice cut through the chaos. The Jedi Knight leapt from the command post, using the Force to propel himself across the battlefield in 3 powerful bounds. Obi-Wan and Ahsoka followed close behind, their lightsabers igniting with distinctive snap hisses. The 3 Jedi landed in a triangle formation around Goku, their glowing blades held in defensive positions. Goku's eyes lit up with genuine excitement. "Whoa, those are amazing! Are those laser swords?" Anakin's brow furrowed. "Lightsabers. Who are you? What are you?" "I'm Goku, Son Goku. I'm from Earth. Or I was supposed to be going to King Kai's planet, but something went wrong with my instant transmission and—" He looked around the alien landscape, the crystal structures, the clone troopers and droids frozen in mid-battle. "This definitely isn't King Kai's place. Where am I?" Obi-Wan studied him carefully, reaching out with the Force. What he felt made his blood run cold. The stranger radiated power, immense, unfathomable power, but it wasn't the Force. It was something else entirely, like trying to sense a sun that existed in a spectrum his eyes couldn't see. You're on Christophsis, in the Outer Rim. This is the Galactic Republic. I'm Obi-Wan Kenobi, and these are... Less talking, more capturing, Ahsoka interrupted, her dual lightsabers humming as she shifted into an aggressive Atado stance. He could be a separatist weapon. I'm not a weapon. I'm just lost. I was in the middle of a fight and tried to teleport away, but something grabbed me and threw me across, I don't know, space. Different space? He scratched his head sheepishly. It's hard to explain. Anakin's eyes narrowed. The Force whispered to him, but the whispers were confused, contradictory. Danger, it said, but also purity. Strength beyond measure wrapped in childish innocence. It made no sense. Prove you're not an enemy. Power down whatever weapon systems you're using.
Weapon systems? Goku looked down at himself. I don't have any weapons, just my gi and... He paused, noticing how tense everyone was. Oh, you think I'm going to attack you? No, I only fight bad guys. Are you bad guys? That depends entirely on your perspective, Obi-Wan said dryly. But we're certainly not separatists, if that's what you're asking. Separatists? Goku echoed. What's a separatist? Oh, come on. Nobody in the galaxy doesn't know about the Clone Wars. Clone Wars? Goku's confusion was so genuine, so unfeigned, that even Anakin's suspicion began to waver. I've never heard of those. I've been in wars before. Fought against the Red Ribbon Army, stopped Emperor Pilaf, beat Frieza on Namek, but I don't know anything about clones or separating or whatever. The three Jedi exchanged glances. Their comlinks were already buzzing with urgent transmissions, clone commanders demanding orders, separatist forces regrouping for another assault, and now the Jedi Council requesting an immediate report on the massive energy signature that had just appeared on their sensors from halfway across the galaxy. We don't have time for this, Anakin said, making a decision. Ahsoka, have Rex set up a perimeter. Obi-Wan, contact the Council. I'll handle our guest. Handle me? Goku raised an eyebrow. Listen, I appreciate you guys not shooting at me anymore, but I should probably warn you, I'm really strong. Like, really strong. So if you're thinking about trying to capture me or something, it's not gonna work. It wasn't a boast, Anakin realized with a start. The stranger was simply stating a fact, the way someone might mention the color of the sky. There was no arrogance in his voice, no challenge, just honest, straightforward truth. Then let's not make this adversarial, Obi-Wan suggested smoothly. You say you're lost. We have resources, navigation systems, communication networks spanning thousands of systems. Perhaps we can help you find your way home, if you're willing to answer some questions. Goku's face brightened immediately. Really? That would be great. I need to get back. My friends are probably worried, and I was in the middle of a pretty important fight. Nothing universe-threatening, just sparring with Vegeta, but you know how he gets. When he paused, noticing how tense everyone was. Oh, you think I'm going to attack you? No, I only fight bad guys. Are you bad guys? That depends entirely on your perspective, Obi-Wan said dryly. But we're certainly not separatists, if that's what you're asking. Separatists? Goku echoed. What's a separatist? Oh, come on. Nobody in the galaxy doesn't know about the Clone Wars. Clone Wars? Goku's confusion was so genuine, so unfeigned, that even Anakin's suspicion began to waver. I've never heard of those. I've been in wars before, fought against the Red Ribbon Army, stopped Emperor Pilaf, beat Frieza on Namek, but I don't know anything about clones or separating or whatever. The three Jedi exchanged glances. Their comlinks were already buzzing with urgent transmissions, clone commanders demanding orders, separatist forces regrouping for another assault, and now the Jedi Council requesting an immediate report on the massive energy signature that had just appeared on their sensors from halfway across the galaxy. "We don't have time for this," Anakin said, making a decision. "Ahsoka, have Rex set up a perimeter. Obi-Wan, contact the Council. I'll handle our guest." "Handle me?" Goku raised an eyebrow. "Listen, I appreciate you guys not shooting at me anymore, but I should probably warn you. I'm really strong. Like, really strong. So if you're thinking about trying to capture me or something, it's not gonna work." It wasn't a boast, Anakin realized with a start. The stranger was simply stating a fact, the way someone might mention the color of the sky. There was no arrogance in his voice, no challenge. Just honest, straightforward truth. "Then let's not make this adversarial," Obi-Wan suggested smoothly. "You say you're lost. We have resources, navigation systems, communication networks spanning thousands of systems. Perhaps we can help you find your way home, if you're willing to answer some questions." Goku's face brightened immediately. "Really? That would be great. I need to get back. My friends are probably worried, and I was in the middle of a pretty important fight. Nothing universe-threatening, just sparring with Vegeta, but you know how he gets." When he paused, noticing their blank expressions. "Sorry, you don't know Vegeta. Anyway, yes, I'll answer whatever you want. Just point me towards someone who can help me find Earth." Before anyone could respond, a series of explosions rocked the battlefield. The Separatist forces, having recovered from the confusion of Goku's arrival, launched a renewed assault. Droid starfighters screamed overhead, strafing the Republic positions with laser fire. A massive Octoptara droid crested a nearby ridge, its multiple legs carrying it forward as its cannons charged. "Get to cover!" Anakin shouted, pushing Goku toward a crystalline outcropping. But Goku didn't move toward cover. He moved toward the danger. "Wait!" Ahsoka called out. "You don't have a weapon!" Goku glanced back over his shoulder, grinning. "Sure I do." He raised his hands, cupping them at his side. Blue-white energy began to coalesce between his palms, crackling with power that made the Force itself seem to recoil. The Jedi watched in stunned silence as the light grew brighter, more intense, until Goku's entire body was outlined in a brilliant azure aura. Ka? May? Ha? May? The air itself screamed as the energy built to impossible levels. Clone troopers dove for cover. Droids recalculated threat assessments and reached the conclusion, error. Ha! The beam that erupted from Goku's hands was pure, concentrated energy. Not plasma, not laser, but something fundamental and devastating. It carved through the Separatist line like a lightsaber through paper, vaporizing battle droids by the dozen and shearing the Octoptara droid cleanly in half. The beam continued for several seconds, sweeping across the battlefield in a controlled arc that systematically eliminated every Separatist position without touching a single clone trooper. When the light faded, silence fell across Christophsis. Goku lowered his hands, looking satisfied. There, that should help, right? Anakin's lightsaber hung slack in his grip. Obi-Wan's mouth had fallen open behind his beard. Ahsoka simply stared, her montrals quivering with shock. "What? Anakin?" managed. "What are you?" "I told you. I'm Goku. I'm a Saiyan from Earth. Well, technically I'm from planet Vegeta, but I was raised on Earth, so..." He noticed their expressions. "Was that bad? Did I hurt someone? I was really careful to avoid your soldiers." "No," Obi-Wan said faintly. "You didn't hurt anyone. On our side, you just single-handedly destroyed an entire Separatist battalion." "Oh, good," Goku smiled. So you guys are the good guys then, the ones protecting people. We're Jedi, guardians of peace and justice in the Republic. We protect the innocent from tyranny. Goku's smile widened. Awesome! Then we're on the same side. I always help people who protect the innocent. It's kind of my thing. He looked around at the smoking crater he had created. So, about finding my way home? Anakin's comlink buzzed urgently. Master Windu's stern voice crackled through. Skywalker, report. What was that energy signature? Every Jedi in the temple felt it. The young Jedi Knight raised the comlink slowly, his eyes never leaving Goku. Master Windu, we've encountered something unprecedented, a being of immense power. Not Force-sensitive, but he struggled for words. He's not like anything we've ever seen. And Master, he wants our help. There was a long pause. Then, bring him to Coruscant. The Council will want to meet this stranger. And Skywalker, be careful. Power without understanding is dangerous. Understood, Master. Anakin lowered the comlink and turned to Goku. Looks like you're coming with us. We'll take you to our headquarters, the Jedi Temple on Coruscant. If anyone in the galaxy can help you find your way home, it's them. Great, Goku said enthusiastically. Then his stomach rumbled audibly, echoing a...
The Jedi Temple on Coruscant rose above the planet-wide cityscape like a mountain of ancient wisdom, its 5 spires reaching toward the stars as they had for millennia. Within its halls, the greatest minds of the Jedi Order gathered in the council chamber, a circular room where 12 seats formed a ring of judgment and contemplation. Holo-communicators flickered with the blue-tinted images of council members scattered across the galaxy, all summoned for an emergency session. Master Yoda sat in his customary seat, his jimmer stick resting against his knee, ancient eyes closed in deep meditation. Mace Windu stood by the window, his dark face creased with concern as he watched the Republic cruiser descend toward the temple's landing platform. Around them, the other council members, Ki-Adi-Mundi, Plo Koon, Shak Ti, and others, waited in tense silence. "Feel it, you all do," Yoda said quietly, not opening his eyes. "A disturbance in the Force, unlike any before." "It's not in the Force," Mace corrected grimly. "That's what concerns me. This power exists completely outside our understanding. No midi-chlorian reading, no connection to the living Force, yet it rivals anything we've encountered, perhaps exceeds it." On the landing platform, Goku stepped off the cruiser and immediately looked up at the temple with wide-eyed wonder. "Whoa! This place is huge! Is this like a castle? Do you guys have a king?" "It's a temple," Anakin explained, leading him toward the entrance. "A place of learning and meditation. The Jedi study the Force here, train younglings, and coordinate Republic military operations during the war." "So it's like the Lookout," Goku said, nodding as if that made perfect sense. "Except way bigger, and with more people." He waved enthusiastically at a group of Jedi younglings who stopped to stare at the strange visitor. "Hi, kids!" The younglings scattered, their instructor hurrying them along with nervous backward glances. Obi-Wan sighed. "You'll have to forgive everyone's caution. We're at war, and strangers with your level of power make people uncomfortable." "Yeah, I get that a lot," Goku admitted. "Back home, people used to run away screaming when I powered up. Well, except Vegeta. He usually just gets mad and challenges me to a fight." His face lit up. "Hey, do you guys spar here? I'd love to test myself against those lightsaber things." "Perhaps after the council meeting," Obi-Wan said diplomatically, though he exchanged a worried glance with Anakin. The thought of Goku sparring with anyone was terrifying. The The council chamber doors slid open with a pneumatic hiss. Goku stepped inside, immediately sensing the concentrated attention of the 12 Jedi Masters focused entirely on him. Most people would have felt intimidated. Goku just smiled and waved. "Hi, I'm Goku. Thanks for agreeing to help me get home." Mace Windu's expression remained stern. "We haven't agreed to anything yet. First, we need to understand what you are and where you came from." Skywalker's report was incomplete. "Because it was impossible," Anakin muttered, but subsided under Mace's sharp look. Yoda's eyes opened, fixing on Goku with an intensity that seemed to peer through flesh and bone into the very essence of his being. "Strong you are, this we sense, but of the Force you are not. Explain you will." Goku scratched his head. "Well, I'm not sure what this Force thing is that everyone keeps mentioning. I use Ki, life energy. Everyone has it where I'm from, but most people don't know how to control it. I've been training since I was a kid to sense it, manipulate it, use it to make myself stronger and faster. And to create energy powerful enough to destroy a battalion," Mace interjected. "We saw the battle footage from Christophsis. That was just a Kamehameha. It's one of my master's techniques. I've got way stronger attacks than that. Wanted me to show you?" "No!" Every Jedi in the room shouted simultaneously. Goku blinked in surprise. Okay, no demonstrations, got it." Ki-Adi-Mundi leaned forward, his tall cranium furrowed with thought. "This Ki you describe sounds similar to the Force in some ways, an energy field that connects living things. But our instruments detected no midi-chlorians in your blood sample." "Midi what now?" "Midi-chlorians," Obi-Wan explained. "Microscopic life forms that exist in all living cells. They're what allow us to connect with the Force. Without them, interaction with the Force should be impossible." "Huh. Well, I definitely don't have those, but I can still sense your energy. It's different from Ki, kind of deeper. Like it's connected to everything around us. Not just you. You pointed at Yoda. Yours is really strong, by the way. You must be an amazing fighter." Despite the gravity of the situation, Yoda's ears twitched with what might have been amusement. "Fight well, I can, but measured in strength alone, a Jedi should not be. Wisdom, compassion, discipline, these matter more." "Master Roshi says the same thing," Goku agreed enthusiastically. "Well, when he's not being a pervert, but yeah, strength without purpose is just violence. I learned that a long time ago." His expression grew more serious. "That's why I need to get home. There are people depending on me to protect them, and I was in the middle of training when I got pulled here." Shock T's hologram flickered as she spoke from Kamino. "If what you say is true, you come from another dimension entirely. The technology to traverse such barriers doesn't exist, even in the most advanced systems."
"Actually," Goku said, brightening, "I can teleport. It's called instant transmission. I just need to lock onto someone's key signature and focus. The problem is, I can't sense anyone from my universe while I'm here. Everything feels different. Your energy signatures are everywhere, blocking out the ones I'm familiar with." Plo Koon's masked face tilted thoughtfully. "Perhaps if you could attune yourself to our galaxy's energy patterns, you might be able to distinguish your home universe more clearly. Such adaptation would take time." "How much time?" Goku asked. "Weeks, possibly months." Goku's shoulders slumped. "That long? Man, Vegeta's gonna be so smug when I get back. He'll never let me hear the end of getting lost." Then he perked up again. "But hey, that means I get to explore a whole new galaxy. This place is amazing. You've got spaceships and laser swords and... Oh, that reminds me. While I'm here, Can I fight one of you? Just a friendly spar. I promise I'll hold back." The Jedi Masters exchanged uneasy glances. Finally, Anakin spoke up. "Master Windu, if Goku is going to be here for an extended period, we should assess his capabilities properly. A controlled training exercise would be dangerous and foolish," Mace interrupted. "We have no idea the extent of his power." "With respect, Master, that's exactly why we should find out. If he's as strong as his display on Christophsis suggested, we need to understand what we're dealing with. And if the Separatists got footage of that battle, which they almost certainly did, they'll want to capture or kill him. We need to know if he can defend himself." "Defend himself?" Ahsoka's voice came from the doorway, where she'd been standing guard. "Master, he vaporized an entire army with one attack. I think he can defend himself." Yoda tapped his stick against the floor. "Right ease young Skywalker is. Measure his strength we must, but carefully." The ancient master's gaze fixed on Goku. "Restrain yourself you can." "Of course," Goku said eagerly. "I spar with my friends all the time without hurting them. Well, usually. There was that one time with Krillin, but he was fine after his Senzu bean." "I'm almost afraid to ask what a Senzu bean is," Obi-Wan muttered. "Come," Yoda commanded, rising from his seat with surprising agility for someone over 800 years old. "To Training Room 7 we go. Witness this we all shall." Training Room 7 was a vast chamber deep within the temple, its walls reinforced with durasteel and equipped with energy shields designed to contain even the most powerful Force techniques. A small crowd had gathered, council members, senior Jedi Knights, even some curious Padawans pressing their faces against the observation windows. Goku stood in the center of the room, stretching his arms above his head and rolling his shoulders. "Man, it's been hours since that fight on Christophsis. I'm getting stiff. This is perfect." Across from him, Anakin Skywalker ignited his lightsaber, the blue blade humming with deadly energy. "Standard rules. First to yield or first to be disarmed loses. No permanent injuries." "Got it!" Goku dropped into a loose fighting stance, weight balanced on the balls of his feet. "Ready when you are." Anakin didn't wait. He lunged forward with Form 5s, aggressive strikes, his blade singing through the air in a series of powerful overhead chops designed to overwhelm an opponent through sheer force. Goku's eyes widened, not with fear, but with delight, as he swayed backward, the lightsaber missing his nose by centimeters. "Whoa! That thing's fast!" Goku ducked under a horizontal slash, then hopped over a leg sweep. "And hot! I can feel the heat from here!" Anakin pressed the attack, calling on the Force to enhance his speed. He became a whirlwind of blue light, his blade moving in patterns too fast for normal eyes to follow. Each strike was precise, controlled, aimed at Goku's limbs and torso, in spots designed to disarm rather than kill. Goku didn't dodge them all. He blocked. With his fingers. Gasps echoed through the observation room as Goku's index and middle fingers caught Anakin's lightsaber between them, holding the plasma blade as casually as one might catch a tossed ball. The blade crackled and sputtered against his skin, but didn't cut, repelled by the invisible aura of ki coating Goku's body. "This is really cool," Goku said, examining the blade up close. "What kind of energy is this?" Anakin stared, his blue eyes wide with disbelief. That's impossible. Nothing can touch a lightsaber blade without being cut." "Really?" Goku released the blade and held up his hand, completely unburned. "Huh, must be a ki thing. I blocked energy attacks before, Frieza's death beams, Cell's kamehamehas, but this is different, more solid somehow." In the observation room, Mace Windu's knuckles were white where he gripped the railing. He stopped a lightsaber with 2 fingers. Powerful his aura is, like armor of pure energy. Remarkable. Anakin deactivated his lightsaber, then reactivated it and shifted into Form 4, Ataro, the acrobatic style. He leaped and spun, using the Force to propel himself around the room at incredible speeds, striking from multiple angles. Goku matched him move for move, not using ki to fly, but simply moving fast enough that he seemed to teleport from spot to spot. "You're really good," Goku called out cheerfully, blocking a strike aimed at his shoulder. How long have you been training? Since I was 9, Anakin grunted, transitioning into a spinning attack. Oh, just like me! Master Roshi started teaching me when I was about that age. I'm almost afraid to ask what a senzu bean is. Won't you see something cool? Before Anakin could respond, Goku's hair flickered. Just for an instant, it glowed golden, and his power spiked so dramatically that every Force sensitive in the temple felt it like a physical blow. The lights in the training room flickered. Then Goku's hair returned to normal, and he was just simply standing there, smiling apologetically. Sorry, that was just a tiny bit of Super Saiyan. Didn't mean to let it slip out. Anakin had stumbled backward, his lightsaber trembling in his grip. Through the Force, he had felt that spike of power, and it terrified him. Not because it was dark, it wasn't. It was pure, neutral, like standing at the base of a mountain and suddenly realizing it was about to fall on you. What was that? Anakin swallowed hard. My transformation, Goku explained. When I'm a Super Saiyan, my power multiplies by 50. Well, Super Saiyan 1 does. 2 is 100 times, and 3 is 400 times, but that one's really hard to control.
The number hung in the air 50 times, and he just demonstrated enough power to defeat a battalion without transforming. Obi-Wan's voice crackled through the training room speakers. I think we've seen enough. Anakin, stand down. But Anakin's competitive nature, the same drive that had made him the chosen one, flared hot in his chest. One more exchange. I want to try something. He closed his eyes and reached deep into the Force, drawing on every lesson, every technique he'd learned. The Force flowed through him like a river, and he channeled it into his body, his lightsaber, his every movement. When he opened his eyes, they burned with determination. Okay, Goku, said, sensing the change in his opponent. Show me what you've got. Anakin moved faster than he had ever had before, the Force carrying him forward in a blur of blue light. He struck with every ounce of skill he possessed, his blade weaving patterns that had defeated Sith Lords and bounty hunters. For 3 seconds, he pushed Goku backward across the training room floor. Then Goku smiled, shifted his weight, and tapped Anakin on the chest with one finger. The young Jedi Knight flew backward as if hit by a speeder, crashing into the padded wall 20 meters away. He wasn't hurt. Goku had calculated the Force precisely, but his ego certainly was. Good try, Goku called out. You almost had me there. Want to go again? Anakin groaned from where he'd slumped against the wall. I yield, definitely yield. The training room doors slid open, and Yoda walked in, his stick tapping against the floor. Enough this is. Proven yourself you have, young Goku. Strong beyond measure, skilled in combat, yet restrained and honorable. Questions answered, many are, but questions raised, more are. Goku helped Anakin to his feet, the Jedi still looking dazed. Sorry if I was too rough. You okay? My ego hurts more than anything else. I've never felt this outclassed. Even Master Yoda doesn't make me feel this weak. You're not weak, Goku protested. You're amazing. That laser sword of yours is incredible. And the way you can jump and move using that Force energy, I've never seen anything like it. If we fought for real, you might even win. Everyone in the observation room seriously doubted that, but they appreciated the sentiment. Mace Windu entered the training room, his expression grave. Goku, the Council has made a decision. You may remain in the temple while you work on returning home. We'll provide quarters, food, and any assistance we can offer. In exchange, we ask that you help the Republic in its war effort. Your power could save countless lives. Goku's cheerful expression faded into something more serious. I'll help people who need it. That's what I do. But I'm not a soldier, and I won't just follow orders. If I see someone in trouble, anybody, I'm going to help them, whether they're on your side or not. The statement was simple, honest, and completely uncompromising. It was also exactly what Mace had feared. We're at war. Sometimes the lines aren't that clear. They are to me, Goku said firmly. Protect the innocent, stop the bad guys. If someone's trying to hurt people who can't defend themselves, I'll stop them. That's all I need to know. Yoda's ears tilted forward. Simple your philosophy is. Yet perhaps what this war needs, simplicity is. Too long in politics and strategy, bogged down we have become. Forgotten we have the basic truth. Protect the innocent we must. Master Yoda, Mace began. Decided the council has. Welcome Goku is. Trust him we shall. Prove worthy of that trust, I sense he will. As the Jedi filed out of the training room, Ahsoka approached Goku with a mixture of awe and curiosity. That was incredible! How did you learn to do all that? Lots of training, Goku said, grinning, and lots of really tough fights. Each one made me stronger. Hey, what's your name? Ahsoka Tano. I'm Anakin's Padawan. Padawan? That's like a student, right? When she nodded, Goku's grin widened. Cool! Master Roshi always said the best way to get stronger is to teach someone else. Maybe I could show you some techniques while I'm here. Really? Ahsoka's eyes lit up with excitement. Master, did you hear that? Goku wants to train me! Anakin, still rubbing his chest where Goku had poked him, managed a rueful smile. Sure, Snips, just maybe start with the basics. I don't think I could survive if you learned how to do that finger tap thing. As the group walked toward the temple's residential quarters, none of them noticed the observation deck's security camera redirecting its feed. Far below, in the industrial district of Coruscant, that feed was intercepted and rerouted through a dozen encrypted channels before arriving at a nondescript office in the Senate building. Chancellor Palpatine watched the training footage with intense interest, his aged face illuminated by the glow of the holographic display. He had felt the power spike from his office, of course. Every Force sensitive on the planet had. But seeing it in action was something else. Magnificent, he murmured. Such power, and completely untrained in the ways of the Force. Imagine what he could become with the proper guidance. His comlink chirped. Count Dooku's hologram materialized, the Sith Lord's aristocratic faces tight with concern. Master, I felt it. The disturbance. What is it? An opportunity, my apprentice, or a threat, perhaps both. The warrior who fell from the stars has power that rivals our own, but his mind is simple, his loyalty uncertain. He could be swayed to either side, or he could remain neutral and disrupt all our carefully laid plans. Then we should eliminate him, Dooku said immediately. Perhaps. Or perhaps we should test him first. Send Grievous. Let's see how this Goku responds to real danger. If he dies, the problem is solved. If he survives, we'll know more about his capabilities. And if he joins us, Palpatine smiled. Well, the Jedi would have no chance. As you wish, Master. I'll dispatch Grievous immediately. The hologram faded, leaving Palpatine alone with his thoughts. The plan was proceeding perfectly. Anakin Skywalker was growing stronger, more conflicted with each passing day. The Republic was stretched thin. The Jedi were blinded by their arrogance. And now this wild variable had appeared, powerful enough to disrupt everything. But Darth Sidious had not survived for centuries by fearing the unexpected. He had survived by controlling it, twisting it, using it to his advantage. And Goku, for all his power, was exactly the kind of simple, honest soul that was easiest to manipulate. Not through darkness or corruption. The Sith Lord could sense that wouldn't work. But through friendship, through trust, through the one thing that simple warriors like Goku valued above all else, the promise of protecting those they cared about. Palpatine began composing a message.
and personal invitation from the Chancellor himself, welcoming this remarkable stranger to Coruscant. A chance to meet, to talk, to understand what Goku truly wanted, and to begin planting the seeds that would either destroy him or turn him into the most powerful weapon the Sith had ever wielded.
The Jedi Temple's residential quarters were sparse but comfortable, designed for meditation and rest rather than luxury. Goku sat cross-legged on the simple bed, staring out the viewport at Coruscant's endless cityscape. Millions of lights stretched to every horizon, speeders weaving between buildings like schools of luminescent fish. It was beautiful, overwhelming, and utterly alien. "I wonder what everyone's doing right now," he murmured, thinking of Chi-Chi, Gohan, Goten. His family would be worried. Vegeta would be furious that their sparring session had been interrupted. Master Roshi would probably be watching TV, and Krillin would be trying to keep everyone calm. A knock at the door interrupted his thoughts. "Come in." Anakin entered, carrying a tray of food. "Thought you might be hungry. The temple's mess hall closes in an hour, but I figured after that display in the training room, you'd need more than one meal." Goku's face lit up. "Yes, I'm starving." He took the tray eagerly, examining the various dishes. Nerf steak, Jedi Temple bread, some kind of blue vegetable he didn't recognize, and a tall glass of bantha milk. Within seconds, he was devouring everything with a single-minded focus of a Saiyan appetite. Anakin watched with a mixture of amazement and horror as Goku finished the entire tray in under a minute. That was supposed to be enough for 3 people. "Really? It was good, but I could eat about 10 more of those." "I'll inform the kitchens," Anakin said weakly. He sat down on the room's only chair, his expression growing serious. "Listen, Goku, I need to ask you something. When you transformed earlier, that golden hair thing, I felt something through the Force. Not darkness, but immensity, like standing at the edge of a black hole. Is that normal for you?" "The Super Saiyan transformation? Yeah, it multiplies my power. The first time I achieved it was on Namek, when Frieza killed my best friend Krillin. I was so angry, so desperate to protect everyone that something inside me just broke through, or maybe broke open? It's hard to explain." "Anger," Anakin repeated softly. "The path to the dark side begins with anger. What's the dark side?" Anakin blinked. "You really don't know? The Force has 2 aspects, the light side, which Jedi follow, powered by peace, harmony, and selflessness, and the dark side, powered by anger, hatred, fear. It's seductive, offers quick power, but it corrupts everything it touches. The Sith use it." "Siths?" Goku tilted his head. "Are they the bad guys?" "Yes. They want to destroy the Jedi and rule the galaxy. Right now, their leader is Count Dooku. He used to be a Jedi Master, but he fell to the dark side. He's leading the separatist forces against the Republic." Goku's expression grew thoughtful. "So when I fought on Christophsis, those robots, they were working for this Dooku guy?" "Exactly. Battle droids. They're programmed to follow orders without question, which makes them perfect soldiers for someone who doesn't care about casualties." "That's terrible," Goku said, hardening. "Using machines to hurt people? Hiding behind armies so you don't have to face anyone yourself? That's cowards' tactics." "Dooku is many things, but he's not a coward," Anakin warned. "He's one of the greatest lightsaber duelists in the galaxy. He's defeated me twice. If you encounter him, don't underestimate." The door chimed again. This time, it was Obi-Wan holding a datapad. "Goku, there's someone who wants to meet you. Supreme Chancellor Palpatine himself has requested an audience." "Who's that?" Goku asked. "The elected leader of the Galactic Republic. He oversees the war effort and coordinates with the Jedi Council. It's quite an honor. He rarely meets with individuals personally." Anakin's face brightened. "Palpatine is a good man, one of the few politicians in the Senate who actually cares about ending this war. He's been a friend and mentor to me for years." Something in Anakin's tone, a warmth and admiration, made Goku look at him curiously.
"You really like this guy, huh?" "He's one of the wisest people I know," Anakin said earnestly. "When the Council doesn't understand me, when they hold me back, the Chancellor listens. He sees my potential." Obi-Wan's expression tightened almost imperceptibly, but he said nothing. "The meeting is scheduled for tomorrow morning at the Senate building. I'll escort you there." After they left, Goku lay back on the bed, hands behind his head. Something felt off. He couldn't quite put his finger on it, but there was an energy in this galaxy that made his instincts itch. Not a specific threat, just wrongness, like sensing a predator hidden in tall grass. He closed his eyes and tried to meditate the way Master Roshi had taught him, reaching out with his key senses. The temple was full of powerful presences, the Jedi, each one a bright point of disciplined energy. Beyond them, Coruscant sprawled in all directions, trillions of life forces creating a constant background hum. And somewhere, far below in the city's depths, something dark pulsed like a diseased heart. Goku's eyes snapped open. What was that? He focused again, trying to pinpoint the sensation, but it was gone, or hidden. Whatever it was had felt aware, intelligent, and deeply malevolent. Nothing like the Jedi's clean, controlled energy. This was hunger, ambition, and carefully controlled rage. A Sith, maybe? But Anakin said the Sith leader was Count Dooku, and he wasn't on Coruscant. So who or what was radiating that darkness? Goku made a mental note to ask about it tomorrow. Right now, his stomach was growling again. The Senate building was even more impressive than the Jedi Temple. A massive dome surrounded by landing platforms, with thousands of offices and chambers radiating outward like spokes on a wheel. Obi-Wan guided Goku through security checkpoints where guards with sophisticated scanners gave up trying to analyze him after their instruments returned error repeatedly. "Your biology confuses their equipment," Obi-Wan explained. "They've never encountered anything like you." "Yeah, that happens a lot," Goku said, looking around with interest. "Hey, are all these people senators? What do they do?" "They represent their home systems in the Galactic Senate, debating laws and policies. It's how democracy works, or is supposed to work. Lately, the system has become bogged down in corruption and bureaucracy." They entered a turbolift that shot upward at dizzying speed, then emerged into a corridor lined with expensive art and historical artifacts. At the end, two red guards stood at attention outside ornate double doors. "The Supreme Chancellor is expecting you," one of them said, his voice muffled by his helmet. The doors slid open, revealing a spacious office with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Coruscant. Behind a massive desk sat an elderly man in burgundy robes, his face lined with age and care. When he saw Goku, Palpatine rose with a warm smile. "Ah, our guest from beyond the stars. Welcome, welcome. I am Palpatine, Supreme Chancellor of the Republic. Please sit. Master Kenobi, thank you for escorting our friend. You may wait outside." Obi-Wan hesitated. "Chancellor, the Council requested that I remain."
"The Council worries too much," Palpatine said gently. "I'm simply an old man wanting to meet a remarkable visitor. There's no danger here." His eyes twinkled. "Unless young Goku is planning to attack me." "What? No," Goku said quickly. "I don't attack people unless they're trying to hurt someone." "There, you see? We'll be fine, Master Kenobi." Obi-Wan bowed slightly and withdrew, though Goku noticed his hand lingered near his lightsaber. The doors closed, leaving Goku alone with the Chancellor. "Please sit," Palpatine repeated, gesturing to a comfortable chair. "Would you like anything? Tea? Food? I understand you have quite the appetite." "I'm okay for now," Goku said, settling into the chair. "Thanks, though." Palpatine returned to his seat, studying Goku with interest. "You've caused quite a stir, you know. In all my years of public service, I've never seen the Jedi so unsettled.
They pride themselves on understanding the Force, on being able to sense and categorize all things. And then you arrive, powerful beyond measure, yet completely outside their framework. It frightens them. They don't seem scared. Cautious maybe, but they've been nice to me. On the surface, yes. But I know how the Jedi think. I've worked with them for decades. Palpatine leaned forward, his voice dropping to a confidential tone. They fear what they cannot control, Goku. And you cannot be controlled. That makes you dangerous in their eyes. Goku frowned. Master Yoda said I could stay in the temple. Master Windu asked me to help with the war. They didn't try to control me. Not yet, Palpatine said, but give it time. Eventually, they'll want you to follow their rules, accept their philosophy, fight their battles on their terms. The Jedi claim to serve peace, but they've become soldiers, generals leading clone armies into meat grinders while sitting in their comfortable temple. I sigh. I've tried to end this war through diplomacy, but the Separatists and their Sith leader, Count Dooku, refuse to negotiate. Anakin told me about him, said he used to be a Jedi but turned bad. Yes, a tragedy. Dooku was once a great man, but he became disillusioned with the Republic and fell to darkness. Now he commands armies of droids and ruthless bounty hunters, all dedicated to tearing our civilization apart. Palpatine's aged eyes studied Goku carefully. Which is why your arrival is fortuitous. With your power, we could end this war quickly, save countless lives. That's what I want too, Goku said earnestly. I hate seeing people suffer because of someone else's ambition. Then we are of one mind, Palpatine smiled. Tell me, Goku, in your universe, when you fought these enemies you mentioned, did you always wait for permission? Did you follow rules and protocols, or did you simply do what needed to be done? Well, most of the time I just jumped in and helped, like when Frieza was destroying Namek, or when Cell was threatening Earth, or when Majin Buu. You acted, Palpatine interrupted gently. You saw evil, and you stopped it, without committees or councils or endless debate. That's true heroism, true strength of character. He stood and walked to the window, hands clasped behind his back. I wish the Jedi had that clarity. Instead, they've become politicians themselves, arguing about doctrine while people die. Something about Palpatine's words felt wrong to Goku, though he couldn't identify exactly what. The Chancellor seemed sincere, his concern genuine. But that dark presence Goku had sensed last night, it was here. Faint, like a whisper at the edge of hearing, but definitely here. In this room. Coming from. Are you all right? Palpatine asked, turning with concern. You look troubled. Just trying to figure things out, Goku said slowly. This galaxy is really complicated. Back home, it was usually pretty clear who the bad guys were. They'd show up, start destroying stuff, maybe announce they were going to conquer the world. Here, everyone's fighting everyone else, and they all think they're right. War is complicated, Palpatine agreed. That's why simple men like us struggle with it. We want clear enemies and decisive victories. But the real world is messier. Which brings me to why I asked you here. I need your help, Goku. Not as a soldier, but as a protector. What kind of help? Intelligence suggests that Count Dooku himself is planning to visit a neutral system, Geonosis, for a secret meeting. If we could capture him, the war might end tomorrow.
But the Jedi Council is hesitant to act, worried about violating neutrality agreements and galactic law. While they debate, thousands die every day. I need someone who can act decisively." Goku shifted uncomfortably. "You want me to go after this Dooku guy?" "I want you to stop him from hurting anyone else. Isn't that what you do?" It was a simple question, an obvious answer, yet something made Goku hesitate. Before he could respond, an explosion rocked the Senate building. The windows rattled, alarms blared, and Palpatine stumbled. Goku was at his side instantly, steadying the old man. "What was that?" Goku asked. "An attack!" Palpatine gasped. "The Separatists! They found us!" The door burst open. Obi-Wan rushed in, lightsaber already ignited. "Chancellor, we need to evacuate. There's a fleet of droid starfighters attacking the Senate district and—" He stopped, his face going pale. "It's Grievous! General Grievous is here!" "Who's that?" Goku asked. "A cyborg commander in the Separatist army. Part organic, part machine, and one of the deadliest warriors in the galaxy. He's killed dozens of Jedi. Chancellor, we need to get you to safety now." "Go," Goku said, releasing Palpatine. "I'll handle this Grievous guy." "Goku, no!" Obi-Wan protested. "You don't understand. Grievous is trained in lightsaber combat by Dooku himself. He wields 4 lightsabers simultaneously and has reflexes enhanced by droid processing. He's not like the battle droid you fought on Christophsis." "Good," Goku said, grinning. "I was hoping for a real challenge."
Before Obi-Wan could argue further, the office wall exploded inward. Smoke and debris filled the air, and through it came a nightmare of metal and malice. General Grievous stood nearly 7 feet tall, his skeletal body a horrifying fusion of durasteel plating and preserved organic remains. 4 mechanical arms hung at his sides, each hand gripping a lightsaber taken from fallen Jedi. Yellow eyes burned with hatred in a skull-like mask. "Supreme Chancellor Palpatine," Grievous wheezed, his voice a mechanical rasp. "You will come with me. Count Dooku has ordered your capture." "Over my dead body," Obi-Wan said, stepping between Grievous and Palpatine. Grievous's eyes shifted to Goku, studying him. "And you, the anomaly, the being who destroyed a battalion on Christophsis. Count Dooku has ordered your capture as well. Alive, if possible. Dead, if necessary." "Dooku keeps ordering people around," Goku observed. "I don't like bullies." "I am no mere soldier. I am the Supreme Commander of the droid armies. I have killed 253 Jedi." All 4 of his arms ignited lightsabers, 2 blue, 2 green, creating a whirling constellation of deadly plasma. "You will be 255. "I'm not a Jedi, and I'm way stronger than I look." Grievous lunged. What followed was barely visible to normal eyes. The cyborg general moved with inhuman speed, his 4 lightsabers creating a web of cutting death. Obi-Wan barely managed to parry the first series of strikes, using Form 3's defensive mastery to stay alive. But Grievous was relentless, pressing forward with mechanical precision. Then Goku stepped in. He caught 2 of the lightsabers between his fingers, just as he'd done with Anakin's blade, and his other hand shot out to grab Grievous's wrist. The cyborg's eyes widened in shock as Goku's grip proved immovable. "Let me give you some advice. Counting how many people you've killed doesn't make you strong. It just makes you a murderer." Grievous's remaining 2 arms swung their lightsabers at Goku's head. Goku released the cyborg and swayed backward, the blades missing by millimeters. Then he counterattacked, not with ki blasts or energy, but with pure martial arts.
His fists became blurs, striking Grievous's durasteel body with pinpoint precision. Each impact dented metal. Each strike found a weakness in the cyborg's armor. Grievous stumbled backward, his processor struggling to track Goku's movements. This wasn't possible. His reflexes were enhanced by military-grade computing systems. He could track and counter attacks per dozens per second. But Goku moved faster. Impressive, Grievous wheezed, switching tactics. His forearms separated, attacking from different angles simultaneously. It was the technique that had killed so many Jedi, overwhelming them with more attacks than they could possibly defend against. Goku blocked all 4 lightsabers with one hand, his fingers catching the blades in a fan-like pattern. His other hand remained at his side, relaxed. "Is that all?" Goku asked, sounding genuinely disappointed. Anakin was more challenging than this. Rage flooded Grievous's processors. He ignited the rocket boosters in his feet and shot backward, creating distance. Then he raised all 4 lightsabers and began spinning them in a deadly wheel of plasma, advancing like a living buzzsaw. "Watch out!" Obi-Wan shouted. "That's his most lethal technique!" Goku didn't dodge. He walked forward to meet the attack, his aura beginning to shimmer around him. When Grievous's spinning blades met that invisible barrier, they slowed, then stopped, repelled by pure, concentrated ki. "My turn," Goku said. He flicked Grievous in the forehead. The cyborg general flew backward through the destroyed wall, tumbled through 3 more walls beyond it, and finally crashed into a Senate pod in the main chamber. The pods rained around him, each one carrying confused senators. Alarms screamed. Security droids converged on the scene. Goku walked through the holes he'd punched in Grievous, dusting off his hands. "He's alive, but he won't be hurting anyone for a while. You should probably put him in jail or something." Obi-Wan stared at the destruction, then at Goku, then back at the destruction. You defeated General Grievous with one finger?" "Well, yeah, he wasn't very strong." Goku turned back to Palpatine, who stood amidst the wreckage of his office, his face unreadable. "Are you, okay, Chancellor?" "I am quite well, thank you." Palpatine's voice was measured, controlled, but his eyes, for just a moment, flickered with something that might have been anger or calculation. "You've saved my life. The Republic is in your debt." Jedi reinforcements arrived, led by Mace Windu. They found Grievous unconscious in the Senate chamber, his body severely damaged, but his organic components still alive. The cyborg general was placed in energy binders and taken to a high-security detention facility. As the chaos settled, Mace approached Goku. "The Council wants to speak with you immediately. Grievous's attack was no coincidence. Someone told Grievous exactly where the Chancellor would be and when. There's a spy in the Senate." "Or," Obi-Wan said quietly, "Grievous was sent specifically to test Goku's abilities." The implications hung heavy in the air. If Dooku had sent Grievous just to assess Goku's power, that meant the Sith Lord was planning something bigger, something that would require knowing exactly what Goku could do. Goku looked out at Coruscant's skyline, sensing that dark presence again. It was closer now, almost tangible, watching, waiting. "Something's wrong with this place. I can feel it. Like there's a storm coming, but nobody can see the clouds." "The Force is clouded," Mace agreed. "The dark side obscures our vision. That's why we need every advantage we can get. Will you help us, Goku? Will you stand with the Jedi against the Sith?" Goku thought about Palpatine's words, about the Jedi's caution and the Chancellor's urgency, about Anakin's trust and Obi-Wan's suspicion.
about Grievous's attack and Dooku's interest. I'll help anyone who needs protecting, but I'm not taking sides in a war I don't understand. Show me who's hurting innocent people and I'll stop them. That's the only side I'm on. It wasn't the answer Mace wanted, but looking at Goku's honest face, the Jedi Master realized it was the only answer they were going to get. And perhaps, in a galaxy drowning in political machinations and ancient grudges, simple honesty was exactly what they needed, even if it was also what they feared most.